Okay, guys, so we are back at it again. We made our video for LACP. Once again, we're talking about 2.4 configure and verify layer 2/3 ether channels. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and today what we're going to focus on is PAGP. Okay, we are still at the layer 2. Remember, when you have ether channels, I want you to think about higher bandwidth and redundancy. Okay, you're going to take physical channels, physical interfaces with physical cables, and you're going to form a logical link that's going to provide redundancy, and it's going to go ahead and also provide higher bandwidth. Okay, so we already talked about LACP. Let's go ahead and get to PAGP. Okay, so with PAGP, that's going to be Port Aggregation Protocol. This here is Cisco proprietary. Okay, the configurations for this, guys, it is extremely simple. The only thing is you just want to make sure, and I've said this before, keep it apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Okay, so whichever protocol you decide to pick, if you pick LACP, keep LACP the same on your switches. If you pick static, keep static the same. But today we're going to focus on PAGP. Okay, this right here, Port Aggregation Protocol. This is a Cisco proprietary, okay, which is different from LACP, which is an open standard. Okay, so let's go ahead and get straight to what would be our lab here. Okay, so we are on our Cisco packet tracer. Okay, and look, we have one switch and we have two switches. Okay, and we kind of mentioned this already with regards to spanning tree. Okay, spanning tree is going to go ahead and prevent layer 2 loops. Okay, so at this point right now, this link at interface fast Ethernet 0/1, that, okay, is considered it's obviously it's physical, right? But it's at this point in time, these links are not logical. So you have one physical interface and you have two physical interfaces. And what I'm waiting here for, let's go ahead and zoom in so we get a better view. That looks better, hopefully. So okay, just looking at this right here, guys, I can tell this is going to go ahead and be our root switch. Switch 0 is going to be our root switch. Switch 1 is going to be our non-root switch. And I can prove that to you by simply going into the command line. And we're going to go ahead and show spanning tree. You guys can clearly see, okay, the root ID. So it's basically saying, hey, from these switches that are connected, okay, let's get back here. Let's get that to the side. It's saying, hey, from these switches that are connected, okay, the root ID is going to go ahead and be this MAC address. Okay. The bridge ID, okay, the next one over, the bridge ID is telling you the respective switch. So for switch 0, okay, it's telling you, hey, this is your bridge ID. It's giving you the priority and it's giving you the MAC address. Okay, spanning tree is a completely different topic, but I just want to bring that up so you guys can go ahead and see. Okay, at the end of this, you're going to see that we're going to have essentially one logical link, and I can do that by we'll take a look at this here, but let's just get straight to the configuration. Like I mentioned, PAGP, very simple. So we're going to go to global config. So we go to config. So we're going to go ahead, config T. We're going to go to interface range. Okay. Fast Ethernet 0/1 to 2. Okay. We're going to go to channel. Okay. Channel group 1. Okay, so that's going to let you know which channel it is. You can name it. You have different options. If we click question mark, you can see you can create a total of up to 6 channel groups. So we're just going to go ahead, channel group 1. We're going to go to mode, and this here, I'm going to put the question mark, apples to apples. If we decide to pick the PAGP, okay, we need to go ahead and make sure we get the right command. So for that, we have two options. Option one is going to be desirable. Option two is going to be auto. I'm going to go ahead and make this desirable. Okay, we're going to go ahead. That link's coming up. Let's exit out of here, exit out of here. Let's go into this switch here. Same command. Okay, so we're going to go to the actual interfaces, enable config T, interface range, fast Ethernet 0/1 to 2. We're going to go to channel dot group 1. Okay, we're going to go to mode, and let's take a look at those options again. Technically, if I click auto, our links would be good. And I'll prove it to you by making it auto. But what I would recommend, guys, is if you have a desirable link. Okay, let's look at this here. If you make these interfaces desirable and you make these interfaces desirable, you're gonna have a ether channel link. If you make these interfaces auto and these interfaces desirable, or vice versa, you make this desirable and you make this auto, you're gonna have a link. If you make this auto and you make this auto, no link. Okay, if you make this LACP and PAGP, you're gonna have issues. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna keep harping, keep the protocols the same. So just to prove it to you, we already configured this desirable. We're gonna configure this auto. We're gonna go ahead, give it some time here. Okay, gonna exit. We're gonna let the switches do their work. Okay, they're just going ahead and taking the commands into consideration. Let's go ahead and wait. And what we're gonna go ahead and do, let's go back to our show spanning tree. Okay, okay, perfect. And actually, I believe we had it on switch 0 where we had the show spanning tree. So we're gonna go to show spanning spanning tree. Okay. When we first initially ran our show spanning tree, you guys can see, okay, that we had those two physical interfaces. Okay, and it took those, each interface was considered one, and we had a total of two. Now we take those two physical interfaces and we turn it into one logical interface. I'm going to go ahead and click show ether channel summary. Okay, and from here you guys can see this command here, show ether channel summary. This command, I've heard it before. They say it's a little confusing. Why isn't it show channel group? Nonetheless, keep that in mind. If you want to look at what you're running, the command's going to be ether channel. Okay, show ether channel summary. And you guys can see here, we have our group 1, which is what we called it. We have, it says U for in use and S for as in switch. And as you guys can see here, our protocol is PAGP, and we have that for the interfaces respectively. Fast Ethernet 0/1, Fast Ethernet 0/2. Let's go to our switch here and let's run that same command, show ether channel summary. And once again, we have something similar, exactly the same. Like I mentioned, we made this desirable, we made this auto, which created the ether channel link. If we made this desirable and we made this desirable, we would have created the ether channel link. However, if we would have created this auto and this auto, there would be no ether channel link